of Kiel, our twin city that suffered so much in war, members of Her Majesty's Armed Forces and other uniformed bodies, people of Coventry, I invite you to prepare for our city's Remembrance service. We gather once more in the Memorial Park, 100 years after its opening and dedication by the Lord Mayor and Bishop in 1921 with thousands of other Coventrians. I have the souvenir program in my hand. It says, in every part of the long battle line of the Great War are the graves of men who sacrificed their lives from Coventry. And it goes on to say, the memory of these brave men ought to be preserved by a fitting and worthy memorial in their native city, which may speak to future generations of the incalculable debt which we owe to those heroes who have gone and to those who returned to their homes. This park and the great stone monument behind me is that abiding memorial, not only to members of the armed forces who gave their lives there today for our tomorrow, but also the 35,000 men and women from Coventry who served in the war effort in some way, and to those who fought and died for freedom in the Second World War and later conflict, and the injured and the grieving. And I think especially this day of those who died or were injured in Afghanistan from Coventry and of their families. Over these 100 years, this park, with its trees, each a remembrance for a fallen soldier, has indeed spoken to every generation about the horror of war and the constant need to build peace. Only yesterday, here, I heard a father explain to his little children, this is a memorial, and memorials are for remembering. And the children got off their bikes and climbed the steps to remember and respect. For 100 years, people have come to this park to seek solace and quiet, to cry and to grieve, to be revived by nature, to speak with God, to walk, run, ride, to play, dance, laugh, celebrate, to meet as families and friends, to enjoy the gift of peace and freedom for which those who went before us gave their lives. This great space has sustained people through our present conflict with COVID. In the lockdowns, people flocked here from every part of the city. They came alone, in families, in groups of friends, in amazing Coventry diversity. In the good weather, every part of the park was used. On Christmas Day, when families couldn't meet together in their homes, they came here. We've been fighting a world war in our own time. Not man against man, nation against nation, but every person, the whole of humanity, battling a common enemy together. We've known that the world can only win this war together in the face of such an enemy, and with the threat of climate change overshadowing the future of the planet. We know that we cannot anymore afford to fight each other. That war between human beings must be consigned to history, that we must find other ways of dealing with the differences between people and nations, the ways of peace, God's ways of peace. It was for that future of peace for all, which those whom we commemorate this day with thankful hearts laid down their lives. Their example calls us to heed the words of the ancient prophets that we will hear later in our service, to learn God's ways and walk in his paths, so that we will beat our swords into plowshares, and nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. And so as we fulfill our promise to remember them, we turn to our order of service, as I say, as we commit ourselves to work for peace on earth and reconciliation among the nations. Let us remember before God and commend to his sure keeping those who have died for their country in war, those whom we knew and whose memory we treasure, and those who have lived and died in the service of humankind.
Let us pause for a moment for all those people that sacrificed their lives for us. They shall not grow old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. We will remember them.